Workers' Day 2017, organized labor holds rallies to mark May Day.
We're going to also address the issue of backlog of promotion areas and allowances of all sorts.
We're looking into the issue of minimum wage. This is the assurance from the APC administration. Nigeria can surpass GDP projections if more commitment is given to agriculture. A very good evening to you. Happy May Day. I am Sheung Olagunju. Welcome to NTA Network News. President Muhammadu Buhari has assured Nigerian workers that his administration will soon set up the new minimum wage committee and work on palliatives in order to reduce the current discomfort they are experiencing. The president, in a message to Nigerian workers, said the government will work hard to better the lot of the workers and also ensure that they are provided with commensurate welfare and benefits. The president assured Nigerian workers that the fight against corruption is total and irreversible, and therefore called on organized labor to join hands in enthroning integrity and honesty and probity in doing government business. The president emphasized that an efficient labor relation is predicated on effective regulations, enforcement and compliance with due process instead of embarking on needless strikes at this critical moment in the nation's history. Meanwhile, the 2017 Workers' Day has provided an avenue for the appraisal of the current administration's drive towards revamping the economy to better the lot of Nigerians. Labor leaders brought to the fore the imperatives of the time, especially at this trying period of Nigeria, with a focus on the need for government to take the bull by the horn in its fight against corruption and to continue to pursue with great vigor provision of critical infrastructure to serve as a veritable platform for the country's economic prosperity. Emmanuel Anyimiro reports.
There has never been any May Day rally where agitation for new packages for workers has taken a backstage. This May Day, labor leaders appreciate the Buhari's administration drive to better the polity and restore sanity in service delivery so as to chart a new course for Nigeria's development strategy. However, they are quick to point that government policies should continue to carry labor as stakeholders.
The administration has made appreciable effect in fighting insecurity, corruption, and what we call inefficiencies in governance. And we know that we can do more to carry Nigerians and Nigerian workers from their current predicaments.
We applaud the effort in trying to fix this very critical infrastructure and the need also to continue in this direction and make sure that the Ajakuta steel, which has the potential to produce steel that will facilitate as raw material, the rail system should also continue.
I will use this opportunity to call on the federal government as a matter of urgency, let them address the issue of wages.
May Day provides the avenue for workers to interact with their employers as partners in nations building.
We are going to address the issue of minimum wage. We're going to also address the issue of backlog of promotion areas and allowances of all sorts. We captured them in the 2016 budget, but for some reasons, the releases were not forthcoming. But the senior president have assured now that we're going to capture them in 2017 budget appropriation. And once it's captured in appropriation, the Minister of Finance will release the money for those payments.
The celebration from the beginning went on in its usual procession until much later it became a bit rowdy as some of the workers agitated against the Labour Minister's representation of Mr. President, as according to them, they were expecting nothing short of the head of the executive to address them.
Trade union leaders will need to go and reflect on our strategy in trying to convey the feelings, the views of our members to government.
The president of the NLC, the president of the TUC are all around, and they have a catalogue of issues that they have been presenting and which they are going to highlight today. So disrupting a day that is supposed to be the day of fun for workers around the country, I think is very uncalled for. It is unfortunate.
However, the dust settles down after a short while and the rally went on peacefully. Emmanuel Ayemiro, NTA.
Adebola Brooks Lane Sunday was also at the Eagle Square venue of the May Day celebration, where he interacted with some civil servants who want their voices heard despite challenges.
Decided I will be part of this union.
Rahila Agwam was involved in a motor accident 2 months ago, but despite her condition, she managed to join other workers for the day for her voice to be heard.
I want to be part of it because the thing is really paining me. Our salary is nothing. They should increase the minimum wage.
This is my first time of coming, and as very soon I'll be buying out of service, and I'm attending it to enjoy what my other colleagues have been enjoying.
Professor Isse Sage, who spoke on the theme of the celebration, described the present government as a labor-friendly administration.
It is a government on a rescue mission. Confronted with an empty treasury, it has, by a skillful management of the poultry residue, its transparency, integrity and honesty, managed to salvage the country from degenerating into a failed state. It has stopped the looting. The looting has stopped. It is recovering already looted funds and managing our economy well. It therefore grieves me in the heart that some state governments are owing workers months and months of unpaid salaries. 12 states are owing salaries, some the minimum being 2 months, and in one case 11 months. This is happening in spite of bailout funds provided by the federal government on 3 different occasions.
Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Winifred Oyo-Ita, assured the workers of government's resolve to address their challenges.
Of the promotion areas has been taken care of this 2017, and very soon the Honorable Minister for Finance will be able to start settling it. The issue of the minimum wage is being looked at very closely, and I'm sure when the committee is able to sit, they'll come up with some recommendations that will give a win-win situation to both the workers and the government.
Over 10,000 workers attended the event. Adebola Brooks Lane Sunday, NTA News.
Workers in the public and private sectors have appealed to government at all levels, as well as employers, for an improved welfare package. Musa Abubakar reports that the workers also pledged to rededicate their efforts towards better service delivery.
Besides celebrating the contributions of workers to national development, the day gives impetus to a discourse on the current well-being and productivity of the Nigerian worker.
While workers remain the driving force behind the implementation of government's diversification effort, their state of welfare, they believe, is also imperative.
Wherever you are, local government, state workers, that we should improve on our standards so that at least we will not be falling backward, comparing the standard country with some advanced country.
Present government should listen to labor officials. They should go into dialogue.
I would say the productivity is good. We're in times of staff putting in their best.
Some workers who commended the present administration for repositioning the economy appealed to it to look into issues of outstanding gratuity, pension and general welfare of the worker.
So urging the federal government to put what I call a backup for workers, Nigerian workers, for unemployed, for the retired, for the pensioners.
Salary is not commensurate to what is being sold in the market.
To a large extent, I would say it's a sorry sight.
Along a renewed commitment towards service delivery as a whole for a new minimum wage to reflect current economic reality. In Abuja, I am Musa Abubakar, NTA News.
Now, the history, progress and development of Nigeria's economy and political system have been linked to the history of labor movement and struggles for a better society. As workers mark yet another May Day, Emmanuel Ayemiro examines the role of labor in nation building.
The history of May Day started in Chicago in 1884, when working conditions were severe and workers demanded 8 hours per day instead of 16 hours. The implementation started on May 1st, which now becomes International Workers' Day. In Nigeria, since amalgamation of the country in 1914, labor unions have taken center stage fighting major policies of the colonial masters to the benefit of the masses. The first generation of workers emerged from the nascent colonial economic and administrative structure, which preferred forced unpaid labor but was challenged by workers, which led to the high point of resistance in 1941 and later 1945, when Nigeria's railway workers embarked on general strike led by Pa Michael Imodu. The 1949 Enugu Coal Massacre, where 22 local miners were killed for daring to demand for wage arrears, was protested by workers, signaling a general agitation for better working conditions. The history also captured fight for independence in 1960, the Kokori-led Nupeng anti-June 12 election annulment strike of 1993, incessant ASU strikes, the Oshomole-led strike on fuel price increase and workers' welfare, the Abdul Wahid Omar and Peter Esele anti-fuel subsidy removal of 2012. All are examples of protest against perceived anti-people's policy of government. The union leaders say all the engagements with government is to struggle for a better society.
Local government reform that took place in Nigeria was the popular Desuki reform. It is that reform that positioned local government as a tier of government, the third tier of government in our country. It is the same Desuki reform that made local government an almost autonomous system, whereby election into local governments are normally conducted.
The educational sector is said to have witnessed the vibrancy today because of labor agitations.
We fought against the privatization of education. We have fought against the privatization of water. Labor movement has consistently insisted that government should put in place appropriate policies that will guarantee employment of youth.
The maritime sector, telecommunications, the rail sector, housing, and many more have created wealth at various times in the past.
Railway locomotives used to be running on coal, and it was the workers of that famous corporation that fed this coal to provide the needed energy to move the trains from Lagos to Kano. Today, in Federal Housing Authority, the workers in that industry have done a lot to provide estates that you see in Abuja and other cities in Nigeria.
The contributions of labor to nations building span across different sectors, including banking, oil and gas, the media, security, judiciary, and many more. No doubt, Nigerian workers deserve the best. Emmanuel Anyemiro, NTA News.
Joining in now on the network news is the Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige. Honourable Minister, thank you for joining us on the network news.
Thank you, you're welcome.
As this May Day is marked, what should be the expectation of the Nigerian workers from this administration?
Well, the Nigerian workers know that this is a very labor-friendly government. And this is, as we enunciated in our party manifesto. So we've tried to be friendly. We came and met a very bad economy. But even with that, we put in place the fact that no worker will lose his job in the public sector of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. We even extrapolated it to the state governments so that no state government can come and downsize anyhow. No? This is one of the cardinal things this administration has bequeathed to the Nigerian workers. We also bequeathed to them that even in the private sector, we had to intervene. I intervened when the banks were removing people indiscriminately without collective bargaining and redundancy clause being applied. We intervene. In the oil sector, we intervene. This is the first government also that have brought out money and say we are doing a bailout to the states. First bailout, second bailout. Other governments didn't do that. We have also gone a step further to bring back Paris Club reforms and then give them back to the state and say, pay workers their emolument. All of them that are in arrears, give them back what is their due. And we have even gone further. After the removal of, well, not removal of subsidy, appropriate pricing of petroleum products. Some monies needed that people should pay now more for petrol and for diesel and for petroleum products. We now said we have to review the people's salary, the workers' salary. But because this issue of minimum wage, people misunderstand it. You see, minimum wage is the baseline payment. Baseline, the minimum any employer can pay. Whether you're in the public sector or you're in the private sector, or even in the informal sector. The informal sector includes you and me. We have domestic servants, we have drivers, we have gardeners in our homes. This is the informal sector of the wages that we're talking about. So this law will bind everybody, because if you go to the Nigerian Constitution in the exclusive federal list, which is Schedule 2 in item 42, minimum wage falls within the ambit of legislation by only the National Assembly. No other organ can touch it.
Okay, I'll take you up on this minimum wage issue.
That's right.
It seems to be a recurring one.
Mm-hmm.
You have just said that it's the legislature that can do it. What is this government doing, at least to work in tandem with the legislature to come up with something?
No, the legislature is part of government. Government is legislature, executive, and judiciary.
Okay.
That's what government is. We, as the executive, we're going to initiate, and we have initiated already. Okay. The labor bodies, the federations, have been involved in all the negotiation. We have put up a technical committee. The technical committee have brought out a framework. The framework encompasses everybody that is an employer. The government, and when we say government, we mean federal government and state governments. So you must get governors involved. The employers of labor in the private sector, represented by NECA, National Employment Consultative Assembly, NECA, and then NASIMA, and then MAN, Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, and then Association of Small and Medium Enterprises in the country. So we got to get them under one roof to discuss, because that is what the ILO law says, collective bargaining. So the labor people, the labor unions, their leaders know we are on the right track. We have brought out now the architecture and the framework. So what government needs to do now, or what we are doing now, is that we are trying to put in square pegs in square holes. You can't get a chairman of a national minimum wage committee that has no background of the public service, no background of finance, no background of even unionization, and no background of industrialization and industry. So this is where we are. And when we finish that, we now take the recommendation of that committee to the National Assembly for them to now legislate under the exclusive list what the national minimum wage should be. National minimum wage, mark you again, I say it, is the baseline. When you put up that baseline, you go on what you call a sliding scale and go up. So even the wage you are talking about will touch permanent secretaries, directors, deputy directors, and every other person.
And hopefully that will be done soon. Before I let you
Very
go,
soon.
This issue, you spoke about this issue of bailout, but salaries are still being owed across the states. How can this be addressed? Very briefly, Honorable Minister.
Well, at the Economic Council, it has been raised. Okay. The Vice President is the chairman of the Economic Council, but Nigeria runs a federation. And the federation means federating units. So, but it is not right for governors who have been given some money from the federal account and told, we are using this as bailout for you. Go and pay backlog. Mark you that the federal backlog in question, which we are talking about, even the federal government, was not accrued by this government. It was done from 2010 up to 2016. The present government is owing only about 15% of what you call promotion, allowance, and other pecs of offices like travel and tours. We're only on 15%. So this was a backlog that came up from 2010. But government is a continuum. So we are bound to pay. So state governments should roll up their sleeves, cut off excess fats, excess unnecessary expenditure, and pay this money to the workers of Nigeria.
Honorable Minister, in our earlier report, you heard about the disturbance at the May Day rally today in Abuja. What would you say about that just before we go?
No, that's a storm in the teacup. It's a storm in the teacup. It's democracy. And for me, as a labor minister, what the people who are workers in quotes, because the labor leaders disown them, but what they did is in tandem with labor laws. Labor laws allows you to picket. Picketing can take any form. So for me, it's not an issue. We have sent the message across. I've sent the president's message. I've sent my own message even yesterday. And so the workers know that this is a labor-friendly government. And they can never get a government like us.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Dr. Chris Ngige is the Honorable Minister of Labor and Employment.
Thank you.
For the first time in the history of Adamawa State, the Workers' Day celebration witnessed the attendance of the state governor. Rayanu Balla reports that Governor Muhammad Umar Jibrila trekked from his house to the Mahmoud Ribadu Square venue of the celebration.
Governor Muhammad Umar Jibrila says his administration is committed to prompt payment of workers' salary and other entitlements. He promised to engage the workers in decision-making of his administration and will provide a conducive atmosphere for civil servants to ensure a productive workforce. The governor expressed optimism that with the policies and programs of government on ground, the welfare and well-being of the workers will be enhanced. The state chairman, Nigerian Labour Congress, Dauda Maina, was hopeful that salary-related issues will be addressed soon so as to improve the living condition of the workers. Muhammad Jibrila had earlier reviewed the parade by various labor unions in the state. In Yola, Rayanu Bala, NTA News.
In the meantime, the All Progressives Congress, APC, has felicitated with the Nigerian workers in the formal and informal sectors on the occasion of the 2017 Workers' Day celebration. In a statement from the party spokesperson, Balaji Abdullahi, the party thanked Nigerian workers for their strong support in the ongoing task to build a new Nigeria and bring about the change much desired by the citizenry. He said, without doubt, the economic recession has had a telling effect on the livelihoods of many working families and businesses in the country. However, the party, he said, is happy to note that the country's economy is gradually coming out of recession and assured Nigerians that the government of President Muhammadu Buhari will continue to work hard to improve the livelihood of every citizen. The APC said the task of improving workers' welfare, creating a conducive business environment to attract investments and grow existing businesses, as well as creating jobs, is a tripartite collaborative effort between labor unions, the private sector players and government. Faced with crisis of inability to pay salaries by most states of the country, the APC recalled that the federal government twice bailed out the states to ensure that workers do not suffer unduly. And one of the registered political parties in the country, the Democratic People's Congress, DPC, has saluted the spirit of the Nigerian workers, saying the workers are the life of the nation, considering their contributions since independence. This is contained in a statement signed by the national chairman of the party, Olusegun Peters, while felicitating with the Nigerian workers on the May Day celebration. It also urges governments at all levels to pay all outstanding salaries and pensions, saying workers deserve better conditions of service to assuage the effect of the economic recession. While canvassing improved standard of living for workers, the DPC also urges the National Assembly to pass the 2017 Appropriation Bill. Beyond the rallies and march pasts, the May Day celebration at the Eagle Square was not devoid of some entertainment. Momso Damien Dapti reports that workers had a field day socializing outside their usual tight work schedule. Here are the sights and sounds of the event.
One after another,
various groups of workers in their large numbers trooped into the Eagle Square, it was indeed a sight to behold.
Me, I be fighter for corruption. My own, I will ask the government, say, salary, why are you not growing up?
Rukoya Hassan, who is only 2 years old, may be oblivious to the significance of the day, but her father, who brought her along like many other parents with their young children, are aware that their welfare, if taken care of by the government, will impact on their little children.
I'm here at my home to celebrate. I want to follow my dad selling cleaning.
On and on the crowd kept trooping in, from the public and private sectors, adorned in their various uniforms to add colors to the event. And fun was what they really had.
Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
Even the physically challenged were not left out.
We come to tell the world that persons with disability need to be mainstream in the world of works.
Agok, the crowd went with excitement on sighting the arrival of former NLC President and Edo State Governor Adams Oshiomhole. There was also free medical checkup for the large crowd of workers.
I checked my BP, then I checked my sugar level, and then to know my status, my HIV status.
Suddenly, the fun-filled atmosphere turned aggressive when the representative of the Minister of Labour and Employment came up to deliver his speech. However, the event did not end without the usual ceremonial march past, with salutations received by the various union leaders. In Abuja, Momso Damien Ati, NTA News. This is to let you know that you can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. And still ahead, give more to agriculture, and Nigeria may well surpass the World Bank's GDP projections. Details shortly.
Change does not just happen. You and I and all of us must appreciate that we all have our part to play if we want to bring change about. We must change our lawless habits, our attitude to public office, and public trust. We must change our unruly behavior in schools, hospitals, marketplaces, motor parks, on the roads, in homes and offices. To bring about change, we must change ourselves by being law-abiding citizens.
Let's pepper them. So tell somebody to tell everybody to come join Timaya, baby. I did bring too much sauce. Glow Mega Music Talk. It's gonna be a mad over your 10. Yo, wait, we are showstoppers.
I'm your host for the biggest show ever.
If you miss the store, you're gonna miss everything. So join me, guys. Let's turn up.
We'll be storming across Nigeria. I won't be anywhere else.
Everyone who is anyone is going to be there.
All Nigeria's A-list musicians.
One big stage.
Live and direct.
Glow Mega Music Tour all over Nigeria.
So watch out because we dey come. Let's go!
It's the Glow Mega Music Tour with your favorite anchors and special guest stars. It's gonna be untamed. Text music and your preferred location to 207. Use 2,000 Naira Glow airtime in 1 month to stand in line for your free ticket. So what are you waiting for? The Glow Mega Music Tour. Glow Unlimited.
Not hear your pikin here for not you.
You don't need to sabi plenty computer. Just sabi down special 8 keys wey dey on top computer. A, B, C, D for to take answer question. P for preview or back. N for next or forward. Double click S for submit. And arrow for return or reverse. And send or form. Not be 6 months again, no. Now only 1 month. From March 20 to April 19. But JAMB don extend registration until May 5, 2017. So that applicant go get better opportunity to register. And optional mock exam na April 29. Examination na 13 to 20 of May. May 2017. No more scratch card, though. Buy your PIN at approved banks and waka go any approved JAMB CBT center for registration. No wuru plus mago for JAMB again, no. If you don't read well, you go fail.
This message is by Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, enhancing academic excellence.
Hello. I just got back from the States and I need a SIM so I can have a number.
Bonus you need.
What's nyafu?
If you join MTN, you go enjoy bonus to bracket.
What's bracket?
See, any bonus we then give you, you go fit to do anything where you like with them. Chatting, browsing, texting, calling, to any network for Nigeria. And no condition at all. Completely freedom. Everything you buck.
What's buckle?
If you buy the charge card 100 naira, they go give you 600 naira. If you call the charge 200 naira, as a big baby it is now, they will give you 1,200 naira.
Hey, brother, show me the way now.
Get an MTN SIM, register it, and get 6 times of all your recharges every time you recharge, and much more.
MTN, everywhere you go.
I can't believe she just rejected me and my camera.
She rejected my lights. How can she not want makeup?
Maybe when the battery dies, she'll come back to us.
Nah, not with a 4,000 milliampere battery.
Experience the best selfies of your life. Gioni A1 Super Selfie Super Battery.
We appreciate the gesture, we appreciate her love, and we know that she cares about the people of Nigeria.
She wants to touch people's life, especially the less privileged, or even people who are sick in the hospital. We remember that they have a wife of the president who is very concerned about human life and humanity in general.
That scenario will not happen.
The insurgency has been contained and agricultural production is bouncing back. Nigeria is working towards food sufficiency.
So FAO, thank you for coming. We discussed we're going to need your help in expanding agriculture, in introducing new crops for local consumption and export. We need to make the rural people richer and happier than they are now.
We must become a nation where we grow what we eat and consume what we produce.
Thanks for staying with us on the Network News. Nigeria can surpass the projections of the World Bank in the gross domestic product GDP growth if government will show more commitment to developing the agricultural sector. Former President Olusegun Obasanjo made the remark at the Indian Professionals Forum held in Abeokuta. Lukman Adefeso reports.
According to former President Olusegun Obasanjo, India-Nigeria symbiotic relationship had tremendously impacted on the country since independence and continued to contribute to the growth of the economy based on the industries owned by Indians, which had contributed to the growth of various aspects of Nigeria's economy. The former president recalled that his visits to the country in the early 60s facilitated the establishment of the rail system during his regime as former head of state.
Nigerian, non-Nigerian, who believe that he will live uncorrupted country. Whatever power I have, I will kick against it.
Chief Obasanjo canvassed for more foreign investments in Nigeria, especially in the area of world-class hospitals, but warned foreign investors not to undermine Nigeria's self-reliance, noting that it was part of his experience in India. The president of India Professionals Forum, Dr. Bharat Pandey, assured Nigeria of more collaborations between Nigeria and India to boost industrial growth. The conglomerate of India business professionals came into being in 1994. In Abeokuta, Lukman Adefeso, NTA News.
The National and Abia State Executive members of the All Progressives Congress, APC, have paid a courtesy visit to the Ogwenna of Abriba, Chief David Owa Onoha Bodex, with a call to join hands in the fight against corruption in the country as the whistleblowing policy of the present administration is yielding results. Uchechukwu Onwe reports.
While stating their mission, Honorable Acho Obioma, Chairman Contact and Mobilization Committee, who led the delegate, said leaders of the APC as duly respected wants him in the party as he is a man of integrity in Abia State, a move that would attract dividends of democracy to his people, particularly in the forthcoming election.
Our party had come to tell you that you belong to APC. You belong to APC.
Because we know he's a man of honor, a man of integrity, and these are the kind of people we are looking for to join us.
The Igbos cannot afford to continue to sit at the back.
We're talking about positive change in this country, and it's only APC that will provide that.
In his response, Chief David Onoha Bodex said the Bodex Foundation before now has employed over 2,000 people, including those undergoing skills acquisition, free medical, maternal and post-maternal health treatment, and also his scholarship scheme. Chief Bodex commended efforts of the present administration, especially in the fight against corruption, which he said is gradually yielding results, adding that it is his wish to be in the struggle.
I'm not just a member of ABGA, I'm a BOT member. And their request is something that I would have to give very serious consideration. So then I will go back and give them an answer.
Meanwhile, Chief Bodex wishes Nigerian workers a happy May Day as he led the visiting executive members of APC to the Bodex Events Center in Abreba, which has provided employment for youths as well as serving as a tourist resort in the area. Uchechukwu Onwe, NTA News.
And there's still more on Workers' Day ahead as we link up with Jennifer in our Lagos Network Center. Hello, Jennifer. It's good to see you.
Good to see you too, Shewu. Happy Workers' Day. Good evening and a warm welcome to Lagos. Addressing the welfare of workers in the face of current economic recession remains a priority to both the federal and state governments. Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode re-emphasized this at the celebration of this year's Workers' Day with the theme Labor Relations in Economic Recession and Appraisal. Abolade Salami has the details.
Despite the early morning rain, workers in their numbers converged on Agege Stadium to celebrate 2017 Workers' Day. Governor Akinwumi Ambode, while felicitating with the Nigerian workers on their enormous contributions to the implementation of government policies, he assured the workers of government resolve to address the plight of the Nigerian workers. He added that despite the current economic recession, no civil servants in the state will be retrenched. Instead, more teachers will be employed.
What is of paramount interest to this government is to make sure that every Lagosian has a comfortable means of moving from one point to the other. But I promise you there will be no job losses. You can always count on the commitment of my administration to the welfare of workers.
The chairman of Nigerian Labour Congress, Lagos State Chapter, Comrade Idowu Adelakun, and his trade union Congress counterpart, Comrade Francis Oguremi, appealed to government at all levels to ensure the job security of workers in the country. Workers are however optimistic that government will address the issue of minimum wage of 18,000 naira in the face of current economic recession. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
Nigerian youths have been challenged to imbibe the spirit of perseverance and patriotism in all they do. This was the focus of the 8th edition of Leadership Empowerment and Resource Network Learn. These attributes, speakers say, can make them the change agents of the society. Lynn Lileke has details.
The Leadership Empowerment and Resource Network, LEARN, was initiated by the wife of the Minister of Works, Power and Housing, Abimbola Fashola, to inspire character, strengthen and engage the youth to be resilient and productive. The platform is also meant to improve the understanding of young Nigerians to take advantage of their disadvantages and be better citizens in the society. Guest speaker at this year's edition, a leadership advocate, stressed the need for the youths to concentrate on how to learn through life experiences.
The youth are the backbone of change. It's the youth that bring creativity and innovation and dynamism and growth.
We want to create modern leaders. We want them to be able to serve our nation, and we want our old age to be secure.
Initiator of the program, Abimbola Fashola, said the inclusion of youths in future development agenda is the primary aim of the project.
Talk to them about leadership, listen to them as well, why they are doing what they are doing, and where they have problems and challenges, and let's find solutions together.
I intend to, use my knowledge of plants, to create like herbs that can heal some sicknesses.
The program featured interactive sessions with notable Nigerian youths who have struggled through life's challenges to make positive impact in their immediate environment and contribute to nation building. In Lagos, Lynn Lenake, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA Network News. We'll take a break now for some messages. The news continues shortly. Stay with us.
Oh, it's happy hour. So, you want a free Coca-Cola, but you have to drink it here.
I can't believe she just rejected me and my camera.
She rejected my lights. How can she not want makeup?
Maybe when the battery dies, she'll come back to us.
Nah, not with a 4,000 milliampere battery.
Experience the best selfies of your life. Gioni A1 Super Selfie Super Battery.
Where is the pulp? The pulp. Where is the pulp? Where is the pulp?
Taste the goodness of real orange pulp in every gulp.
Where is the pulp?
Five Alive Pulpy Orange, now in your neighborhood.
Issues in the sports sector remain one of the most debated among Nigerians due to the passion, followership, government involvement, impact on Nigeria's external image and our national life in the sports parliament. The NTA offers Nigerians deep views on issues with experts in the sports sector, offering in-depth analysis, hindsight, insight and foresight towards elevating Nigerian sports to the zenith on the floor of the sports parliament.
So many things have been wrong in sports. We've been talking around it.
We need performance expertise, and you can only get some of this where you have world-class facilities.
How can sports deliver return of investment to attract the kind of money required to take it to the next level?
We cannot interfere in the internal affairs of even the federations that belongs to us.
Sports Parliament, a unique platform for sports discussions, showing live on the NTA, Thursdays at 11 p.m. Keep a date with the parliamentarians.
The eyes have it.
Nigerians. Suicide bombers are not spirits. They are not ghosts. They are human beings like you and me. They live amongst us. They are your neighbors. They are your friends today, but terrorists tomorrow. So you must know your neighbor now. Security begins with you and me. Know your neighbor. Be vigilant. Be security conscious. Report suspicious persons, objects, and movements to the police and other security agencies. The security of our nation is a duty for you and me.
If you see something, say something. Nigeria, unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
And thanks for rejoining us. We go to business now. Now, the Central Bank of Governor Godwin Emefiele reassures of the economy moving out of recession soon. And financial experts are optimistic and have advised on ways to stay out of recession in the future. Details with Kolo Mohammed on Business News.
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us on Business News. Nigeria's Central Bank Governor Godwin Emefiele says with the current efforts by the federal government aimed at reviving the economy, the nation will be out of recession soon. Against this backdrop, financial experts have listed indices to look out for as pointers to an economy moving out of recession.
The most important is the purchasing power of every Nigerian, value of the naira. Value of the naira is our life in Nigeria. The more the naira depreciates, the more our collective lives depreciate.
The Central Bank of Nigeria assures of its continued forex intervention to achieve its target of foreign exchange convergence at both the interbank and the parallel market. Activities are expected to resume on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange tomorrow, Tuesday, after the public holiday. Happy Workers' Day from all of us. That's Business News at this time. Network News continues right after now. My name is Kolo Mohammed.
Thank you, Kolo. Now, Zainab is in our Sokoto Network Center. She's got a bit of May Day celebration in Sokoto. Hello, Zainab.
Sheuni, it's good to see you and welcome to Sokoto. Governor Aminu Waziri Tambwal says substantial number of the Kalambaina 500 housing units constructed by the Sokoto State government will be given to the state civil servants. He dropped this hint at this year's Workers' Day celebration held at Giginya Memorial Stadium. Sheikh Muhammad Dati has more on the story.
The Nigerian Labour Congress, Trade Union Congress, Nigeria Union of Teachers, the NUJ, and the Judicial Workers Union were among unions that graced the occasion. Governor Aminu Waziri Tambo, represented by Secretary to State Government, Professor Bashir Garba, underscored the importance of civil service in governance. He reaffirmed government's readiness to ensure welfare of its workers, in addition to prompt payment of staff salary. Substantial part of Kalambaina housing unit, he said, will be given to state civil servants on loan, urging people of the state to maintain peaceful nature Sokoto is known for.
And this can only be achieved with a motivated, committed, dedicated, disciplined workforce in the state civil service.
State Chairman, Nigeria Labour Congress, Aminu Umar Ahmad, reminded the Labour members of the need to continue with their hard work, honesty, and dedication in their respective places of work. While assuring government of support, the Labour leader reminded government of the need to address other lingering issues in the state. He said some of the lingering issues that needed government attention include review of pension to a minimum of 25,000 naira per month against the present minimum of 4,000 naira. In Sokoto, Sheikh Muhammad Dati, NTA News.
The Department of State Security Service, Sokoto Command, has paraded 2 syndicates who specialize in kidnapping, armed robbery, and cattle rustling. Sheikh Muhammad Dati again reports that the command also paraded a group of three underaged who specialize in vandalizing electrical and solar power cables.
Briefing newsman, Director of State Security Sokoto Command, Tijani Kafa, said the group of 7 have long been engaged in kidnapping and other criminal acts in Gorenyo, Sabambrini, and Isa local government areas. The gang, according to him, is responsible for the kidnap of Nasru Aliyu Megoro of Teloka village of Gorenyo local government area and collected 1 million naira as ransom. Zango Arab, a village close to Niger Republic in Sabambrini local government area, is where they use as their hideout and venue for keeping kidnapped victims. Members of the group include their leader, Abdullahi Muhammad, known as Hanazua, a spiritualist, a medical practitioner, and the owner of the car they use in performing their criminal act. The second group of 3 secondary school students were arrested for vandalizing electrical cable wires supplying power to Sokoto Water Board along Ilela Road, valued at millions of naira. The vandalization, he said, is responsible for the recent water shortage being experienced in some parts of Sokoto metropolis. In Sokoto, Shehu Muhammad Detti, NTA News.
And that's it from here. It's back to Shehu.
Thank you, Zainab. And just ahead, sports and a bit on the global scene. Stay with us.
Workers' productivity under the change agenda in focus on this week's edition of Tuesday Live. NTA Tuesday Live. Incisive, informative, and educated. Don't miss it.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, is working to ensure access to safe, good quality essential medicines with the World Health Organization pre-qualification of made in Nigeria pharmaceutical products, stiffer penalties for fake drug offenders with a review of NAFDAC laws, national, regional, and international collaborations, cutting-edge technologies, including the mobile authentication service.
NAFDAC impacts upon everything we do, including water we drink, the food we eat. They are important organs to the development of this country. And everybody should come out and join them and support them and help them to achieve the greatest benefits and success that they need to record.
Let us support NAFDAC to win the war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
On the foreign scene, South African President Jacob Zuma abandons May Day rally as Turkish police fires tear gas and rubber bullets to disperse May Day protests in Istanbul. Let's join Gabriel Odu on Global Tidbits.
The main Labour Federation, COSATU, has called on President Jacob Zuma to step down last month after the president sacked his finance minister. Meanwhile, workers have booed President Jacob Zuma during the May Day rally, asking him to resign before his tenure expires in 2019. And reports from Istanbul, Turkey, says police have fired tear gas and rubber bullets to break up May Day demonstrators. Reports also indicate that about 200 people have been detained by Turkish authorities. In France, the far-right presidential candidate Marine Le Pen has accused her pro-EU centrist rival Emmanuel Macron of being a candidate of continuity, linking Macron to the current president François Hollande. Meanwhile, Macron has told the EU to reform or face the prospects of Brexit. That's Global Tidbits. Gabriel Odu, NTA News.
And in sports, Nigerian University Games ended at the Federal University of Agriculture, Makurdi, as the Nigerian Polytechnic Games opened in Nasarawa State. Amanzi Marcus reports.
University of Port Harcourt are again champions of the Nigerian University Games, winning the 25th edition weekend in Makurdi, Benue State, with a total of 150 medals, comprising 70 gold, 47 silver, and 33 bronze medals. Ahmadu Bello University Zaria placed a distant second with 16 medals, followed by Benson Idahosa University, Benin City, with 26 medals, while hosts University of Agriculture Makurdi earned the 11th position with 2 gold, 10 silver, and 12 bronze medals. In the final game of the tournament, the hosts defeated the University of Ilorin 3-1. Benue State Deputy Governor Benson Abonu presented the winner's trophy to Uniport. In a related development, the 19th edition of the Nigerian Polytechnic Games Nipoga got underway Saturday at the Federal Polytechnic Nasarawa, with over 4,000 athletes competing in 15 sporting events over 8 days. Correspondent Lekon Kilajolu reports that Nasarawa State Governor Umaru Tanko Almukura was represented by his deputy and charged the 51 participating institutions to compete in the spirit of sportsmanship as the competition targets the discovery of talents.
This objective will be achieved here in Nasarawa State as athletes compete for various events.
In the opening football match, hosts Federal Polytechnic Nasarawa beat Sokoto State Polytechnic 2-1. In tennis, Rafael Nadal has continued to maintain his status as the king of clay after winning a record 10th Barcelona Open title, defeating Dominic Thiem of Argentina in the final 6-4, 6-1. This victory comes after the Spaniard secured his 10th Monte Carlo Masters last week. With sports update, Amanzi Marcus, NTA News.
The death has been announced of a community leader, Mrs. Juliana Ariola Ikotun of Osun State. She was aged 101 years. A service of songs will hold on the 3rd of May at number 12 Fashoro Street, Ilesha, Osun State at 5 p.m., followed by a Christian wake on the 4th of May at 14 Iroyi Street, Ilesha, Osun State. The remains of late Mrs. Juliana Ariola will be laid to rest on the 5th of May. She is survived by many children, including Mr. Oluseyi Ikotun, a director in the Federal Civil Service Commission. And now a quick check on the weather forecast for Tuesday.
Continuous influx of moisture into the country, we expect localized thunderstorms to prevail over the southwest coast and also part of Ibi and Mambila Plateau axis. Partly cloudy skies over the north and cloudiness over the remaining part of the country. Later in the afternoon into evening hours, isolated cases of thunderstorms are probable over Yelwa, Kebbi, the high grounds of the central state, places like Abuja, Jos, Bauchi, Mina, Lafia, down to the southern cities. And for temperature details, please stand by.
Before we go, a reminder that you can watch all our stories and much more when you log on to our website, www.nta.ng. And as we go, we remind you that May Day rallies held nationwide with workers calling for better conditions of service. That's the network news tonight. I am Sheung.